Hello, this is my UFC 225 review. First off, I just want to start by saying, start with Curtis Blades versus Alistair Overeem. I think Curtis Blades has to be up next for the title. I really think he's deserved it. He's marketable. I know people are thinking, well, what about Francis Ngannou? I think he needs to be kind of like a little bit repackaged by the UFC. He's a definite moneymaker. In fact, I kind of think the next fight might be Blades versus Ngannou for the interim heavyweight title. There's a lot of interim titles, so I think that probably will be one of them coming up next. Also, next fight, just that fight with Blades real quick. Razor Blades just dominated Alistair Overeem. He out-wrestled him, and then in the third, he went ahead and finished him off. And I also think this fight should have been on the main card. Last time Blades fought was Mark Hunt in a co-main event of a pay-per-view, and now he was highlighting the prelims. The next fight I'm going to be talking about is CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. I think both these guys had a fun fight. And Mike Jackson, he didn't look like he was showboating. Well, maybe he was, but come on, Dana White, you don't have to bust his balls that bad, right? Like, come on. CM Punk showed a lot of heart. Dana White says this will be his last fight in the UFC. He won't even put him on the Contender Series. But I think the next step for CM Punk is either back to wrestling, which he just had a lawsuit with the WWF, so I doubt that's going to happen. I think maybe possibly Bellator. I think that'd be a lot of fun, and CM Punk would find a permanent home there. Another fight on the card. Andrew Arlovsky. Some reason he just keeps getting booked. He's past his prime. He's an instant Hall of Famer, but still. He lost to Teota. If I mispronounced that, I'm very sorry. This was a very good pay-per-view overall. The co-main event, before we get to that, Holly Holm fought Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson was supposed to be a future up-and-coming woman superstar, and Holly Holm kind of crushed her dream. Holly Holm she wins some, she loses some, she wins some, she loses some, loses some, loses some, wins one. It's kind of hard to... What's the next step for Holly Holm at this point? Okay, well, the co-main event of UFC 225 in Chicago, Illinois was Colby Covington versus Rafael Dos Anjos, who is a great fighter. A great fighter. He is possibly Hall of Famer. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, Colby Covington's wrestling is... Colby Covington just started the fight and he never stopped. He went from 100 and maybe he went down to 97 for 5 rounds. Rafael Dos Anjos, he did have a good 4th round. I thought it was an exciting fight. Colby Covington, he used his mouth, but to get the title shot, the interim title shot, this is for the interim welterweight title. And he's also backed it up with quite a bit of his wrestling ability and his relentless attacks. He pinned Rafael against the cage in the 3rd quarter and just smothered him. The judges even gave him a 10-8 round. Immediately afterwards, they call out Tyrone Woodley. That's the next fight that's being set up. Immediately, Tyrone Woodley's coming back from injury. It's going to be a great fight, but I think it's going to be a one-sided affair with Tyrone Woodley just handing Colby Covington his butt. And in the main event was Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker versus Son of God, Yoel Romero. Yoel the Cheater Romero. Yoel knows how to slip. He knows how to slide. He missed weight by 0.8 pounds, but that wasn't really on him this time. That was more like the Chicago State Commission there. They didn't give him 1 more hour to make weight, which he probably would have. Dun, dun. It was a fight of the year candidate for sure. Round 3, all the rounds. This was a fight. This was a fight, and I swear I thought Bobby Knuckles was out a few times, but his heart, he came through. Overall, it was a great pay-per-view. It was a great pay-per-view. That was fight of the night. Robert Whitaker actually walked away with an extra $100,000 because the missed weight. So that, yeah, it was a great fight of the night, fight of the year so far. The big takeaway is who's going to challenge next for the middleweight title? Luke Rockhold, who lost to Yoel Romero, even though there was a missed weight issue. Only time will tell. Who knows? Maybe Conor McGregor will become a middleweight and win that belt as well. It's better than facing Khabib. The fight everyone wants to see, though, everyone wants to see this fight, is Donald Trump versus Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister. Guys, you need to, weak this, bully that, piece of crap this. Trump's calling Trudeau weak, saying he would break him in half, put him in the cage. Let's find out. Because I personally have my money on Trump. I hate to say I'm not a fan of Trump, but I think when it comes to actually kicking someone's ass, Trudeau doesn't have it in him, and Trump would. I think he would submit him in the first round by a choke. Anyways, that was my UFC 225 review. Next up is UFC 226, Daniel Cormier versus Miocic, which my money is actually on Cormier. But that's going to be a hell of a fight. Until next time, this is Swampy T, yours truly, Ram1, Mr. Ramon, signing out. Peace. Have a great Sunday, guys.